My first major concern has to do with the felling of the shea tree in the northern ecological zone. This tree is an economic tree, but in recent times, that tree has been felled, time without number, for charcoal burning, plus the destruction that is being caused to the rosewood tree species, which is categorized as an endangered tree species. Honorable nominee, if you're given the nod, what would you do to protect the shea tree and our precious rosewood, which is endangered?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, if I may begin with rosewood. Ghana is a party, a state party to the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. And the convention is such that there are 3 categorizations of species. They categorize them in Appendix 1, Appendix 2, and Appendix 3. If a species is placed in Appendix 1, it means that that species cannot be harvested, traded in, or exported at all. If a species is placed in Appendix 2, it means that the species can be traded in, but in a regulated framework. And if a species is placed in Appendix 3, it means the species can be harvested, traded, and exported freely. Rosewood is placed in Appendix 2, which means the government of Ghana can allow the harvesting, trading, and exportation of rosewood in a regulated fashion. The government of the day felt that the rate at which rosewood was being harvested was not sustainable, and therefore the government put a temporary ban on the harvesting, trading in, and exportation of this species. So this is where we are. There's a ban. There's a ban on the harvesting and trading in and exportation of this species. Now, Mr. Chairman, what do we do? I will, if I get the nod, I certainly will be advised by the Forestry Commission properly, and out of which we can fashion out a policy to be able to deal with this situation. But there are 2 or 3 matters we cannot escape, Mr. Chairman. One is that we need to deal with the enforcement regime, because even while the ban is in place, we are all very much aware that there is some illicit harvesting and trading and exportation of rosewood today, even though there's a ban. So the whole enforcement regime has to be looked at and looked at carefully. 2, I think the Forestry Commission almost immediately will have to conduct an audit which will establish the stocks of this species in the forest. How many species do we have? How many rosewood do we have in the forest? I think that will help. And number 3, I also think that if there's ever going to be the lifting of the ban, we must have a relationship between plantation and harvesting. We cannot just go on with harvesting. We need to have a plantation scheme which will assure us that the harvesting, trading, and exportation of rosewood will be sustainable. And finally, I will say that we need to also have a regime for value addition, because the experts tell me that the more you add value to the wood, the less the harvesting will be. Because if you don't add value, it means that they just fell the trees and they export them. So, Mr. Chairman, on rosewood, this is what I think we can do. The issue of shea tree, I'm aware that the Green Climate Fund, in collaboration with the Forestry Commission and the Global Shea Alliance and UNDP, have a grant which they are going to spend for purposes of promoting the plantation of shea and the protection of shea. Thank you.